if you use a radius, right? So if you are targeting to a relation, you don't need to use radius. If you're targeting away, you don't need to use radius. If you're targeting a node, then you need to provide a radius of attention. Otherwise, the platform would use 1 kilometer by default, which is like 0.75 miles, something like that. Now we move to ad booking details. So there's a JSON for screens. These are real screens. So here you can put OSM locations. These are virtual locations. And for the screens, these are real locations. And finally, you have keywords, a list of keywords. If they have a plus sign in front of them, they are positive keywords, things that we look for. If they have a negative sign, they are things that we avoid in matching. So all of these ads are contextual, right? All of these ads are contextually matched to in the intent of the user. So it's pretty sophisticated in that sense. As you can see, that's almost 100 lines of targeting for any ad. Plus, these are JSONs and fields that have even more information. There's a map for status. You can play, pause, cancel an ad. There's a map for the budget, where we have the initial budget and then the budget that is remaining on the ad. Social hash is it's a question that I get a lot. This is the Social Oracle's validations hash. This is the validation hash of the separate blockchain that we have that is pegged to stack, and the separate blockchain is basically validating whether the ad has spam, bad language, hate speech, and essentially what that it's a Java program that takes the content of the ad, the text, and it just filters it for bad words, for sentiment analysis, and it gives you a pretty accurate assessment of whether the ad is spam or whether the ad is real. So it doesn't let you post anything that doesn't pass this validation. So when the transaction gets sent, we have a pretty high confidence that your ad might be valid. It still gets seen by auditors and by screen operators, but at this point, the ad was already validated by 400 bots, and you're paying for that validation because you're doing that locally, or you're doing that with the additional blockchain. So this is something that is not done on stacks. It's done on your machine, plus machines that are mining on the network, and this gives incredible security to the ads. It filters a lot of stuff. It filters like over 400 data points, and after that 3 levels of people are gonna see the ads. So there's really no room for spam in our platform. Then you define the schedule of the campaign. Some campaigns can run infinitely. Other campaigns you just leave end time empty. Other campaigns can run for a day or 2 days or whatever. So for an infinite campaign, this would be blank, just an empty string. Or for a campaign that runs 1 month, just give 30 days from start day to end day, right? It's good to specify start time, but you don't need to if the campaign lasts less than if it lasts more than a day. Maybe you don't need to specify start time and end time, but if it lasts less than a day, then you can do so and only pay for 4 hours. SIP009, this is the specification of a crucial NFT, just so that we can transfer the NFT if you want to transfer it to a different account. So that's good. We get the last token here, just to get the last token of the series. This is part of our dashboard. And another interesting function is this one. This one gives you the ownership status, whether you own the token or not. Now we have these are admin functions to insert ads if we need to do so administratively. And we are just going to update the budget, the status, ads. This allows the foundation to run ads for free or for less. So that's really good that the DAO has that functionality. It's also a second way of refund, because we can refund you in money, or we can refund you by inserting like a separate administrative ads. Shall you run into any problems with the platform? And this is something that was required by bigger clients, institutional clients, and the like. Then we go to the getters, read-only functions. Here you can get a version of the system, the manual of the system of the smart contract, the ID of the last token, and here you can get everything, all of the information that we saw on the map: the advertiser, the budget, the initial budget, the remaining budget, auditing data, right? Let me see what else. Network tells you in which network the ad is posted. So each network has potentially unlimited number of ads that can run on it. Each network has a vault, sort of like a bank. So Bitfari doesn't keep like all the money in a single account. It has like I would say probably 100 different accounts. So the network is pretty hard to hack, because you will need to get like 100 keys to get like all the money. Most of the money will be transmitted via direct ads, so it wouldn't even pass through Bitfari. It would just go from one account to another one. Especially if you're transferring digital land or selling, space in your screen directly. In those cases, the money will go directly to you, and the network will just get a cut of that without depositing it in any vault or any interstitial modality of custody. Okay, so we get the contextual information here in all of its facets, and then we get the screens here, plus the schedules, running times, and links and everything. And here we define the fees, we get the ad information, we specify whether you want that JSON information to be on IPFS, decentralized, or on JSON mode, centralized. This is Web 2, this is Web 3. And then we have settings for that, for those fees. We use the fees, just in times of high congestion. We just put some fees so that we lower congestion. It's just something nice to have. Eventually we lower the fees, so that's how we're gonna manage that problem. The route can change, so that we can change servers or APIs if we need to. Also, the API route can change if we need to change IPFS services. And then we have some values for minimum ad value, but it's pretty low. Like the minimum ad value, it's like I want to say 25 cents. Let me see. Budget minimum, yeah, it's like 25 cents. It's like nothing. It's like 15 or 10 cents, right? So there you go. Feeds are also pretty low, like 0.002 stacks. And the budget is it's low. So with less than $1 you can run an ad. That's mostly the key takeaway there. All right, so in terms of networks, these variables are used to connect this smart contract with the network health smart contracts, so that we can update the total number of networks in the platform, and that stuff can also change dynamically, the total number of screens and billboards, right? So here we go, by line 500 we go to the slightly harder functions. If you want to increase the budget of the ad, there's a function for that. Some of the lines are commented because I'm checking the testnet version, and this can do either Some of them can do XTS transfers. Most of them are only FATIs, because FATI is the native currency of the system. But we support USDA, XBTC, Stacks, and FATI. So we're going to support 4 currencies on this contract. So that's good. So with this, you can increase the budget. With this, you can either pass or fail an audit. So this is the function that auditors will use. And then what we use is an algorithm that sort of scores dynamically the auditors. So the auditors that have the most, they have a history of being right, most of the time will get higher scores, and they will get more audits, more jobs. And the ones that have, that diverge from the mean, they will get a lower score. That's pretty simple system, pretty standard. So the user can cancel an ad just by using this function. It's a public function. You need to own the ad though. So if you own the ad, then you can just cancel it. And then we just remove it from the TBL calculations, and then we just change the status. And if the status is canceled, then we don't show it anywhere. So you can cancel the ad, and that's that's just gonna throw it away. The DAO can also cancel the ad, but that's an administrative modality. This might happen if we end up with a highly problematic ad that just needs to be canceled, and for some reason, God forbids, we don't have auditors on the area, or it's a pretty, if you're in a complex situation, we may need to use this. But it's not something that we anticipate to be using more than once or twice a year. So the user can pause an ad anytime. That doesn't, just to keep your budget and maybe run it at a different time. That's great. And this works across networks. The DAO can also pause an ad, same rationale as above. And then the user can play the ad if they just want to start showing it again.